Welcome to Compass for Your Life, and this is your host, Mary Ladybird, creator of Wonder Space. This show is about healing your home and body using sacred Feng Shui. Harmonize your life by creating a harmonious home. Easy and fast ways to improve your life and create wonderful spaces. Let's inspire you to make the best of your space to create your best life possible. Get ready to enjoy this new perspective on home living. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Wonder Space Feng Shui, Compass for Your Life. And today I just wanted to get on and muse with you for a bit about the idea of emptiness. Recently, I was interviewed on another podcast to talk about space clearing. And one of the things I had mentioned is about clearing out or making space or becoming empty so you can hold in new energy. Well, what does that look like? What does emptiness look like? And is it even real? Is that glass really empty or not? When I was pondering about it, I'm like, well, no, of course, there's air in it. And then, that has molecules and there's like stuff within stuff. Is anything really empty? So, of course, I turned to Alexa, who knows all, and said, hey, Alexa, is there such thing as emptiness? And I forget the resource, the source she mentioned, but she basically came back and said, there is no such thing as emptiness. Emptiness is an illusion. So when I started thinking about that, well, what does it really mean when I'm space clearing? I don't think anyone's really talked about it because it's more of a feeling that you get in your home after you space clear. And so I really want to dive into the philosophy of that and just go a little bit deeper. One of my thoughts is, I go back to the yin and the yang. And so when we space clear, for me, it's putting things back into balance. Let's say, you have a mindset. You want to have a positive mindset. And it's finding that balance, right? So you could be having all these negative thoughts and not have any positive thoughts. Or you could be trying to have all these positive thoughts, but beating yourself up when you don't have a positive thought. Well, where is the love in that? So, it's really, when you're space clearing, what I like to say is it's more like winds of change. It is having one set of air system holding certain things, and moving that out of the home is not really moving anything. It's just moving through. So when I say moving out, I think I really mean moving through. It's moving through the home and allowing the opposite to come in, right? We're trying to bring in joy, love, peace, harmony, balance, all of these positive, more high vibrational aspects of this world, and allowing that to come in and removing more of the negativity. Space clearing to me then, if there is no such thing as emptiness and it's all illusion, well, what are we clearing? And then what's left over after we clear? So I've just been really diving deep into this, being a container, emptying out my container to allow in more new things, right? So really looking at my mind. What am I holding in my mind? What space is there? And do I want to change that? Is there a better way? Can it become better? Of course. We're all evolving. So making sure that there's a balance in my mind, that I am, taking time for self-care and giving. It's finding that place in between. Same thing with your home. It's finding that balance. And I was in a meditation recently and was really thinking like, wow, if there is no such thing as emptiness, let's see, the void is dark, feels dark to me. It's darkness. Well, that's something. That's not nothing. And then, well, is there a void of light? Maybe there is a void in darkness and a void in light, where it's just all dark or just all light. And then that made me think, well, what does true emptiness look like? And for me, I got the image of mirrors and reflections. I haven't really pondered more about that per se, but so it's just, is that what's unity? Is just that reflecting upon the light and the dark, reflecting upon that balance. I've also been thinking a lot about the yin and the yang, and this idea and this concept of being in this duality world, trying to find that unity consciousness, trying to find that balance, trying to find that harmony. And it's not trying to find, it's not out there somewhere. And this is what I think the new energy and the new earth energy, we keep talking about going to the fifth dimension or moving towards the fifth dimension. But is the fifth dimension moving towards us when we magnetize it to us by changing our thought patterns, by changing our space, our empty space, bringing in to us the 5D versus us going somewhere to get it. It's like that concept of it exists outside of us versus already being here. So if we have the idea of unity conscious, of already being here, present, and for us to access, we can make changes in our life, in our home, in our mind, in our body to attract that higher vibration, fifth dimensional, new earth energy. So again, going back to the yin and yang, I was thinking about it. So I'm like, okay, well, they say that nobody ever touches anything. I'm not sure if you've heard about that. It's more of like this concept that, we have the sensation that we're touching things, but nothing ever really touches. It's like we never really actually, it feels solid, but it's not solid. There's this vibrational feedback system, but it doesn't necessarily mean we're touching something. So again, where is that in the yin and the yang? And I really was going into, wow, that is that snake-like line between the light and the dark. What if they don't really touch? What is that space between the light and the dark? Are they actually touching? Is there a space within the yin and the yang where there's actual unity? And so I'm like, oh, well, what does that look like if the light and the dark of the yin and yang don't touch? And then it made me think of a dragon. It made me think of the void. It made me think of just an emptiness. And then I'm like, okay, well, what in emptiness, is emptiness really, if it's an illusion, is it really full? All right. And our human brains cannot yet comprehend that emptiness is fullness. And that there is something beyond what we can see, know, feel, touch, and experience on this earth. So then I was thinking, oh, well, if that's the case, then emptiness actually is the container for infinite potential. And I'm like, well, where is infinity or infinite potential in the yin and yang? And for me, it's the circle that is around the yin and the yang, the light and the dark. So if we can find that space or emptiness, empty space that lies between, that is where we need to go to access all that is, our full potential, unlimited potentials. That is the quantum field. That is the fifth dimensional and beyond. That is the new frontier. And it's all wrapped around infinite potential. And it's just a beautiful thing to stop and recognize and to think about. So when I now go to my consults with people, I want to really cultivate this idea of bringing in this new earth energy, this fifth dimensional, magnetizing them to it, having them realize it all exists, but we just need to make space in our life, our body, our home for our highest potential. That is just the new energy. That's going to be the new way going forward. That is our new journey. That is a new path, at least for me. And I feel like my journeys, I'm just at the tip of the iceberg and or just hitting the water's edge before diving even deeper into all these concepts and these ideas, and then how to bring them, how to utilize them in this physicality of this world. Thank you for listening. I appreciate you all, and I hope you make your space a wonder space. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please take a moment to leave a review or support this podcast by subscribing. Visit wonderspacefengshui.com for events and other offerings. Thanks for listening, and see you in the next episode.